Good afternoon. Happy Monday. So, how to compliment a woman? Okay, and this came through on a question from a friend of mine and somebody that asks. I'm doing advice here for this question that came through. Was a good one. No, I don't think this person who asked the question is necessarily acting like a bitch. I don't know the circumstance. I'll always be honest and tell you, or tell any of my coaching clients, if they are acting like a bitch, I'll let them know. Okay, it's part of my job. But it's the generality of compliments, and a lot of males don't know how to compliment a woman appropriately. They don't know how to do it without looking weak, needy, or what have you. So it's just a great topic to cover. And so the question was related to, women a lot of times who will say they don't take compliments well, or they don't like compliments, and just kind of a society where women aren't taking compliments. All right, here's the thing. Women love attention, okay? I don't care if it's a, feminized society or not. Attention is a primary directive for many women, especially single women. However, the thing about giving compliments is that women get conditioned and men get conditioned to do things for a woman in exchange for sex. And women are conditioned, or whether through their own volition or society, to give up sex or sexual attention based on getting things that they want. And then guys, get used to giving things to a woman for that sexual attention, whether it's buying dinner, compliments, and so on. So it ends up being an exchange. It's inauthentic a lot of times. That's how it's perceived. So, guys, what'll happen is they'll be nervous, or they'll have rejection anxiety, and they'll just start awkwardly complimenting a woman, and it'll come across as just a very awkward, socially awkward thing. They might just say, "Oh, I like what you've done with your hair," when they've never met this person before. So how would you know what their hair looked like before? And you know what I mean? Or just they start looking or reaching for things to shower her with, or "You're so smart," or "You're so," and the problem is these compliments are unearned. So unearned compliments lead to distrust. I mean, the woman hasn't known you for very long, especially if it's in an initial meeting, and you're showering her with compliments that she hasn't had an opportunity to earn from you yet. So there's a lot of things wrong with how this is done. Let's talk about some realities. So the hotter she is, the more she knows that, probably. Okay? She knows she's beautiful. At least she knows that guys want to have sex with her. I mean, so there's no need really to shower her with compliments, especially in an initial meeting. Okay, compliments don't raise the attraction level of a woman to you in the initial. They just don't. Biology takes care of attraction. Okay, and it's your dominant behaviors and that's going to continue to propagate that attraction. It's your action that will propagate attraction, not necessarily just words or empty compliments towards a woman, right? And so there's the whole idea too of like words of affirmation as being a way of communicating love or caring for somebody. That's later in a relationship. That's down the line in a relationship where words of affirmation are happening, because words of affirmation have to be earned. Just like if gift giving is a way that I can show love for somebody, I don't give somebody a gift before we've met or had a first date. You know what I'm saying? A single guy shouldn't do that, right? Not that I'm single, but I'm just saying that shouldn't be what a single guy does. So, same with words. Words, again, have to be earned. So you're not going to, if you're giving up words of affirmation freely, then it cheapens what those words are. So biology, it takes care of the attraction. You just need to execute your needs and desires through action. which is asking for her time, offering your time, things of that nature. So I'm trying to keep my thoughts organized here because there's so much I can talk about here, and I don't want it to be an hour-long video yet. But here's the thing, okay? So unearned compliments, what it does is it's untrusted. It comes off as a bribe for sex. This is what it comes off as. So if she hasn't known you, she doesn't know you, and you're showering with her compliments, you're telling her how smart she is. For example, how do you know that she's that smart? You know what I mean? You've only known her for 1 or 2 dates maybe, or not even a full date yet. You're trying to get her on a date. How, pretty, yeah, you can tell that she's pretty, but she already knows she's pretty, You talking to her already illustrates that. So now you're going to beat the point to the ground by continuing to shower her with that. It just comes off as unnatural, and it comes off as a bribe for sex. Thing is, a woman should want to have sex with you because it's selfish on her part. She should want it because it's what she wants. That's what builds sexual desire. Okay? It's something that she wants. If it's something that she's doing in exchange for something else, a relationship, your time, your money, whatever it may be, in a marriage, to get you to mow the lawn, she gives you a blow. I mean, these are things that she's not doing because she wants to. She should want to rip your clothes off, okay? That's how sex should work for a woman. And if that's not the case, then it ruins attraction. So compliments, it's like, comes across as if a guy is trying to compliment her into the bedroom. And of course, you don't want to come across like that. Other thing too, especially early on, is it takes away competition anxiety, which competition anxiety stimulates sexual attraction. So competition anxiety is just because you're a valuable person, and so people are going to want to compete to have you, and so that means that you're desirable to other women, and that you have a lot of value that you bring to the table. So what builds competition anxiety, it's not necessarily, flaunting other girls or anything like that, but it's just that you showing value and you being a valuable person builds competition anxiety. The fact that you have options builds that. And so if you're showering her with compliments and making it sound like she's your only and best option, it ruins that attraction in the initial phase. It ruins that initial competition anxiety. You're kind of devaluing yourself in a way and putting her up on a pedestal, which is bad for her, and it's also bad for you too, because you shouldn't be putting anyone on a pedestal. You should be vetting them out. It doesn't matter how pretty she is. You don't know who she is, so you should be learning about her, and you should be vetting her in the begin stages of any relationship. So when you're showering with a lot of compliments, it sounds like you're not doing that. And it illustrates and communicates that that's not what you're doing. So here's, and then again, because it just comes across as natural, it gives an unnatural vibe, and, it turns women off. So let's talk about how do we compliment, okay? Now, pleasers are weak. So you don't compliment for her sake. You're not going to compliment her for her sake, all right? It comes across as a bribe, once again. You're trying to make her happy so you can get something out of her, or trying to fluff her ego so you can get something from her. That's how it comes across, true or not. And so you don't want that. So your presence is the biggest compliment. Let's say it's an initial meeting. You've never talked to this girl, you want to go talk to her. The fact that you're going to approach her and talk to her, biggest compliment already in the world. So you don't need to shower her with additional compliments. You don't need to do that because you're already talking to her. You're giving her the gift of your time and your presence. That indicates your interest. That tells her that you find her attractive. You know what I mean? That you're illustrating that. You're letting your intentions known based on your actions. Much better than a compliment. You should be vetting and learning about her. So your interest in her and interest in learning about her, meaning asking questions on like a first date or initial meeting and getting to know her, your desire to learn about her, biggest compliment in the world. Much better than saying, wow, you look really put together, that shirt compliments your eyes, whatever other stuff. Okay, just asking questions and being there with her, getting to know her, biggest compliment in the world. So that is by far the biggest and best thing you can do to compliment a woman right there. It has nothing to do with your words. All right. So in that first meeting and first few dates, you definitely don't need to lay it on thick. You need to give her your presence, your attention, and you need to indicate your interest strongly. Just simply coming up to a woman, just saying hello or whatever, just saying hi, what's your name? And she asks for your name, gives you yours, and whatever, small talk, and you say, hey, I got to run, but you seem really interesting. I'd like to meet up with you next week. When are you free? What day are you available next week to meet? To ask her on a date right there, you know what I'm saying? Without, you take your phone out, and just say, when are you free next week to get together? And that's the biggest compliment in the world right there in an initial meeting. And then, of course, set up the date, a definite time, a definite place, get a phone number in case something changes, and then take her out on a date. That's a compliment. Getting her Facebook, becoming Facebook friends in a first meeting, and then having 2 weeks worth of instant messaging conversation of small talk and bullshit, and then you throwing little compliments here and there in the conversation to indicate interest is weak, it's needy, it's beta male. It just is. You're too fucking busy, or you should be too fucking busy, to be dicking around with instant message with some girl you don't know. I mean, it should be quick conversations, and then you set the date up. That's how it should go. I mean, you can build and talk a little bit, of course, within your comfort level, but you should be setting a date up, a time and place to get together. That right there, biggest compliment in the world, all right? And so now, of course, you always want to be a gentleman, but you're going to be a gentleman because that's who you are. You're going to open doors, pull out chairs, you know what I mean? And being a gentleman is by being dominant and making decisions and taking care of things, selecting places, the place to go, taking care of the logistics, you know what I mean? If you have good intuition and you can kind of figure out, even ordering for her is sometimes okay, depending on the social dynamic in there. Oftentimes is okay. But you taking charge of the date, taking charge of the interactions, and taking care, it indicates that you're taking care of her and her needs. Biggest compliment in the world. So a lot of things I'm talking about here have nothing to do with talking about her eyes are like the ocean, or her face is like the moon at a summer night, or whatever bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's not the bullshit stuff. Now, let's say you are going to compliment a woman. You're going to say something about her appearance or how smart she is or whatever it is. Authentic. That's the thing, the key. You have to be authentic. It has to be something you're going to say because you want to say it. Because you feel like saying it, because you're the man, and you're going to tell her exactly how you feel or what you think. And that's it. And it's, you think she should know this information, so you're going to tell her. You're not telling her for her sake. You're not telling her to get something in exchange. And you're not going to be awkward about it. So the key to being authentic is to be totally unapologetic and completely confident about what you're saying to her. So if you look at somebody, are you going to be like, I really like the way your hair complements, your shirt, and they match really well. I think you're really put together. You're going to say that? Is that what you're going to say? I'm going to say it like that too? How about, you look fucking beautiful. I just wanted to let you know. So, when are we meeting next week? All right? How about something like that? Just tell her exactly how you feel and do it unapologetically. When you pick her, you meet from the first date, look at her, well, you look fucking stunning. Done, right? It's unapologetic. I F-bomb a lot. You don't necessarily have to F-bomb, but whatever. You just tell her exactly what it is. You think her eyes are beautiful? Cool. You know what I mean? You feel like she needs to know that information? Just tell her, but you just tell her, and it's unapologetic and it's completely authentic, But if it comes from that place and it's not a socially awkward place, it'll be well received. But again, though, these are things that she should earn. All right. And so how do you earn a compliment like that? Well, she should be letting you know with social cues that she's interested in hearing your compliment. That meaning she's interested in you. So you should know beforehand that she shows interest in you before you start telling her about how whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it should be just a very matter-of-fact statement, not an explanation, not a diagnosis. Some guys give compliments like she makes her feel like she's in the gynecologist's office or something. It's like a medical diagnosis, you know? It's like, the way your eyes are shaped really make your face like Jesus, you know? It's just inauthentic because it's not coming from an emotional place. It's coming from a logical place. You're trying to analyze her, and what you're trying to do when you're coming from a logical place is that it's like you're looking at a woman and you're going, what nice thing can I say about her to impress her, to get her to like me, or to get something from her? And so then you analyze it, and then it comes across as a logical statement where you're explaining your compliment. Right? Don't do that. All right? You just say, well, your fucking eyes are amazing. You know? Whatever, you know, and then sometimes it happens very naturally in a conversation, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to think of examples because it's hard to come up with an example when something comes up naturally in a conversation. Actually, yeah. So I mean, again, you know, but it's like on a date or whatever. She might say something, or you know, say, I don't know, who knows, whatever, you know, and you just. Whatever, you know, just say, well, you know, that color really looks good on you because it brings out your hair or whatever. I mean, but see, again, it has to come from an authentic place. It's where it comes from and how she's receiving it is what makes the difference. So if she should be indicating interest and openness to hearing that compliment. So if you're coming up to a woman for the first time and you ask, you know, you come up to her, you say, hey, how's it going, or whatever. Her body language before you even talk to her should indicate that she wants to talk to you. You know what I mean? That she's interested in you having a conversation with her. If not, you shouldn't even be approaching her. But let's say, so her body language is demonstrating that. We'll cover the body language in another video. And you approach and you say, you know, hi, how's it going? Whatever. And she responds and she's open, so she's going to want to initiate discussion with you you know, ask for a name maybe at some point and just talk about whatever, like it's another person. No lines, no bullshit. And then if a compliment comes out, great, you know. But again, she's indicating interest in wanting to talk to you. She's indicating interest in possibly wanting to do something with you. And that's when the compliment can come out. Not in an awkward way. And so not in a way where you're trying to win her over. And so the difference between a logical compliment and an emotional one might just be like, you know, you might tell her like, you know, I'm very drawn by, I don't know, I'm so terrible at doing this on a video, dude. I don't understand. I need to put somebody in front of me. I need to put my woman needs to walk in here and I'll start complimenting her. But, you know, you might just say, God, your fucking hair looks great today. You know, really compliments your eyes. Whatever, you know, cool. You know, that's something, you know, but I don't know, you know, it's hard to give examples, but I mean, guys will do it in a way like, you know, they'll drone on and on with, explanations, you know, like, wow, you know, your shoes really match your shirt, and that makes your skin just looks great with, you know, I don't know, man. They just fucking, I can't even do an imitation of how weak ass males give compliments. I need help. More of you weak ass males come in here and throw in these comments, terrible compliments that you give girls, or that maybe that you've heard other weak ass males do. That would help me out on this video. I'm having a hard time coming up with shitty examples, but I do see it all the time though. And so anyways, the point is, and I should just wrap the video up, is if you're complimenting a woman, it has to be authentic and it has to be confident, because it's something that you want to do, not something that you're giving her as a gift, you know, to try to get something out of her or to try to get her to like you. That's the difference. You don't care about getting her to like you. If you're a strong, dominant male, that's not your concern. She's going to like you or she's not going to like you. You're not going to try to earn that by complimenting her. You're definitely not going to try to earn your way into the bedroom through compliments, all right, which is how these things come across. So when they come across as bribes, when they come across as inauthentic, then it just doesn't work well. And guys try to do lines and try to do stuff, or they try to look at a woman and just analyze what ways they can shower her with compliments so that they can get to the next level. And it's a terrible idea, and it comes across as inauthentic. So the key is not to compliment, just to compliment. The biggest compliment is you talking to her, offering your time, and through your action. Your actions are the compliments. Learning about her, showing genuine interest in her, that's the compliment. And then from there, kind of sprinkles, a little bit of, seasoning, so to speak, is if you feel like saying something, you do it because you feel like it. It's something you fucking want to do. Not something that you're doing to try to win her over. And you do it in a way that's unapologetic, even if it's completely crass on paper. Even if you're telling her, your fucking ass looks fucking great in those jeans. I'm just telling you, it's just the way it is. But see, if I said that to a stranger who wasn't interested in me, you'd get yourself slapped, right? But you can definitely tell someone who's interested in you, you know what I mean? That, whatever, your ass looks amazing today. I don't know. It makes me want to do more squats to catch up. Whatever, I mean, it just depends on the interaction. So that's why it's hard for me to come up with examples, because it's within a social interaction. There's no line I can give you. There's no set of compliments or rules that I can give you that are appropriate versus not appropriate. It's within a social exchange. And when her comfort level is there and her attraction level is there, you can say things. You can say relatively crass things. You can say sexually explicit things, depending on your level of knowledge of that person and how open they are to accepting those things. But it requires your social awareness to determine what's appropriate and what's not. You're always a gentleman, but you're always authentic as well. And so being authentic is the key. Don't try to earn a woman through words of affirmation. That's bullshit. You do it later in the relationship. She has to earn that, right? Vet her out. That's what you should be doing. Ask questions. Offer your time. That's what you should be doing. Biggest compliment in the world. The rest, actual words, are because you want to, not because you're trying to get something from her. Okay? So there. Summing it up. God, lots of things here. To organize my damn thoughts a little bit better. But that's it. Hopefully it all makes sense. Long video, but hopefully there's some things of value in here. Actually, there's a lot of things of value. If you could extract everything I said and apply it, you would be so much better off, all of you. So, thanks again, and take care.